To launch AutoCAD, you're going to double click on the red A icon on the desktop. Additionally, you can get to AutoCAD through the search bar by just starting to type out AutoCAD and it'll pop up. This will launch the software, which may take a bit of time the first time you start it. It'll take less time the rest of the times you launch the program because it would have already loaded in the profile. On your first time launching, you might get automatically launched or placed into a blank drawing. Before we start with that, what I'd like to do is look at the start screen. So if you're in just a blank drawing called Drawing 1, just come over here and click on the word Start. While you may be put in Drawing 1 the first time you launch, for all of the subsequent launches, you'll get placed right in the Start tab. The Start screen has several features. On the left side of the screen is the large Start Drawing icon, which you can click on to start a brand new drawing. It'll launch that new drawing based on the last template file you have used. So to change a template, if you ever want to, you're just going to click on the word templates right here, and it'll open a drop down where we can choose different template files. We'll go over some of these templates a little bit later in the course, so we're not going to focus on them too heavily right now, but we will go over a few of them. In the middle of the start screen are a list of drawings that you have opened or have worked on recently. Since this is the first time you've launched your version of AutoCAD, you'll most likely just have lots of samples files listed in here, and you can click on them and get directly in them. Soon enough, this will become filled with examples of your own personal work for easy access. It'll also give a little kind of picture of what your work looked like the last time you saved it. However, because I've deleted these files since I've last opened them, it's not going to give me a preview or let me open anything if I click on them. And on the right side of the screen are some help files. So we can learn about some new different features, maybe information about product updates, just kind of different updates of things that maybe we know about, maybe we don't. We won't be using any of these kind of help tips in class, but know that they are there in case you want to discover something to push yourself a little bit further in the course. Additionally, there are help files available right up here. If you click on the little question arrow, it'll open up the help menu. The F1 key on your keyboard will open up the same menu where you can search for specific help features with various commands. And we can see here that there's even a little UI overview here that we could watch over instead of watching mine, if that's what you want to do. So now I'm going to just start looking at the interface. So either click on Drawing 1 up in your tabs up here, or you can start a brand new drawing, which will launch a separate drawing. In this one, we can see it's called it Drawing 2. So this is the drawing workspace that you'll be using for everything you're going to be assigned from now on. At the top of the screen is the toolbar, and by default, you are faced with what's known as the home ribbon, which has almost every tool that we are going to need and use in this course. The toolbar is also broken down into different sections. So we have the drawing, modifying, annotating or measurements, layers, blocks, object and line properties, grouping, and a few utilities. All of these are just various ways to accomplish things in AutoCAD. Each and every button launches a different command. And most of the commands are pretty straightforward. So they do what the name implies. So the line command will draw lines. The circle command will draw circles. The mirror command will mirror an object, and so on and so forth. Some of these tools do have extra steps to them and different ways of accomplishing desired results. And so throughout the rest of the class, we'll go over each of these commands and kind of what they do. In addition to the toolbar buttons up at the top, every command has a keyboard shortcut. Keyboard shortcuts are used to work faster and more efficiently in the software, but it does take time to get used to them and remember each one. However, an easy way to get familiar with them is that any command shortcut can be found by starting to type out the command name. So during this course, I will point out the command buttons and I'll state the keyboard shortcuts. And you can also look at that small keyboard. It's probably down here. I can't see the recording screen. But for example, if I start typing out L, I, N, E, if I start typing out the word line, the line command will pop up. Let me just hit escape to end it. And also if I just type in the letter L, the line command comes up. So that's a way I can kind of start learning the keyboard shortcuts as I go. So if you're unsure of what a keyboard shortcut is, you can always just start typing out the name of the command. At the very bottom of the screen, in the right corner, is a toolbar known as the status bar. And the status bar has information about different settings and different buttons for those settings to turn the settings on or off. If a button is blue, that means it's on, and if a button is gray, that means that it is off. Hovering over any of these buttons without clicking on them will tell you the name of the setting and the keyboard shortcut, if available, to toggle the setting on and off. Also at the very bottom of the screen is the command bar, which is right here. The command bar will tell you what command you are currently in and the next steps you'll have to take for that command. It's important to always note what the command bar is saying, as it will be your guide through the software. Also, because AutoCAD relies on something called dynamic input, anything that you type will be automatically fed into the command bar. So there's no need to click inside of it to start typing. Dynamic input will take care of that and it'll just feed into the command bar automatically. And if your command bar ever goes missing, so if you accidentally click on that close button, we can see here that it's warning us to get it back. You'll just hold down Control and click 9. So if you ever make your command bar disappear, which I do not recommend you ever do, hold Control and the number 9 and it'll come back. So that is just a very brief introduction to how to launch AutoCAD and looking at the interface. In the next video, we'll look over the different types of files that exist in AutoCAD, how to save your work, and as we progress and get more familiar in the AutoCAD workspace, we'll start to go over the many commands that exist.